We're back with Mr. Tom Jordan again. Hello, Tom.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah. And it's time for the player ratings. It was not a good performance from AFC Bournemouth yesterday, and I don't want to be really negative about it, and I'm never negative about individuals. Try to see some of the brighter parts of their game, but yesterday made it very difficult, and I'm still the raw emotion is still there from yesterday, but we'll start off at the back, and it was Aaron Ramsdale. I'll ask you to score these all out of 10. What do you think of his performance yesterday?
On the whole, it was fine. He wasn't troubled too much, but the goal, he would, not a mistake, but he would have felt he could have done a little better, because he'd made saves by far harder than that, but yeah, he didn't do a lot else in the game, to be honest with you. Moved it as quick as he could, so I'd give him a 5,
yeah.
just because I feel he could have done better with the goal, and at the end of the day, that was kind of all he had to do during the game. And no one's getting more than a 6, so he's getting a 5.
Yeah, good man. So 5. That's Tom scored down there. You can track him throughout the video. Adam Smith started right back. Did you feel as though Stacey was unlucky to miss out, or not really? Because Adam Smith would always be our preferred first choice right back, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I'd say Stacey. There was a lot about Stacey after the Tottenham game, kind of mixed views.
I think he attacked well,
yeah,
but defensively naive.
Yeah, I wasn't kind of trying to be harsh. I think I put a few comments about kind of him for a couple of the goals. I felt on the ball and going forward, he was a real threat, and I can imagine him as a wing back.
Yeah.
But defensively, I did feel he got caught a bit. And yeah, Smithy for me had to come back in if he was fit. In the game, he wasn't awful, but he wasn't his normal flying down the wing self. I'll give him a 5.
And what is it with Adam Smith being the subject of crap, horrible, terrible tackles all the time? Who is it? Knockaert for Brighton, and there have been other ones. I think West Brom in our first or second season, he got clattered. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then yesterday, Saka. It was a sending off. So yeah, I probably agree with that score. Chris Mepham came in. How do you think he did?
I thought he improved a bit in the second half. For first half, I thought he looked a bit shaky, looked a bit nervy. I think it must be difficult for him. He knows that Steve Cook and Ake are our centre halves, and when he comes in, that pressure, he must suddenly think, right, I've got to perform. When he plays in the cups, he's normally next to a Simpson, so he's like the more experienced of the pair. And I just felt the whole game he looked a little shaky, and the goal, I feel he did back off a bit too much. I do think there's a player in there, but I don't think he performed brilliantly. I'd give him a 4.
Give him a 4. 4 for Chris Mepham. Nathan Ake, what were your thoughts yesterday?
Ake's never terrible. Yeah. He's never bad.
But is there a but?
There's a little bit of a but. I think he could have moved the ball a little bit quicker. But it was difficult for him. I think he was getting frustrated with the options in front of him, because obviously he had more of the ball than trying to defend, because we had the man advantage, and he was trying to get us up the pitch, and I think he was getting frustrated that there was no movement in front of him. And it's Ake, so I'm going to give him a 6.
Yeah, okay. That was one of the things that Eddie said, and a lot of fans said after the game. When they were down to 10 men, we weren't moving the ball quick enough. It was very slow, laborious, and there wasn't that sort of direct style. We were playing it sort of sideways and trying to find some width, but rarely did the ball get into the box. It was pretty shocking. Rico on the left side.
Probably not one of his better games, like it wasn't for anyone. Didn't think he was terrible again. But he dallied on the ball a little bit too much. Again, with similar to the others at the back, I just didn't think he was quite sharp enough, quick enough. I felt for them a little bit, because I didn't think the options in front were great. I didn't think there was enough movement for them. But no, I would have liked to see him, especially when they went to 10, maybe marauding down that left a little bit more. Yeah. He had the licence to. He did, and they were trying to go down the other side with Zaha all the time. Yeah. So he really had that kind of licence, and I don't think he used it. Hence the change, not that it should have been Frano, to try and maybe do that. But I'll give Rico a 5.
Were you surprised when Frano came on? It was because I thought it would be a change of system, but it didn't seem to be. It was just a case of switching them up. Was that what happened?
Yeah, I remember there was a spell, can't remember if it was last season or the season before, where we had a few injuries at left back, and Smithy played left back for a while, and him and Fraser did have some good combinations. So I kind of thought, all right, Rico ain't playing great. I can see what he's trying to do down the left, but if you don't put France on the right, you put Stacey on and Matt Zaha's pace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rocket science. Stacey's on the bench. He only played the other day. He's fit, fresh, ready to go. But I kind of got what he was trying to do down the left.
Yeah.
Just felt it should have been Stacey and not Francis.
Yeah, well, so Eddie may be culpable for making a bad decision there. We'll actually rate him as well on this video. We'll give him a score out of 10. Harry Wilson on the right-hand side. He had moments, but he's always going to be one of those players that sort of drifts in and out of games. What do you think yesterday? Yeah,
he doesn't. If he starts, he just doesn't seem to do anything. Comes off the bench and he's like, "Why is this bloke not starting?" It's really weird. But he didn't get involved in the game enough. Thing is, you want to keep him on because I do always feel like there is that moment of magic in him, and you think, while it was so bad, he could have just pinged one off his left and we could have got out of jail. But it is really, really weird. I think the Watford game when we drew 0-0, he looked good when he come off the bench. And obviously Tottenham, he come off the bench was brilliant. But when he starts, he's just like non-existent. You don't even know he's there. I didn't think he was good at all. I'll give him a 4.
Give him a 4. Okay, so our two centre midfielders, both booked. I mean, Anthony Taylor's got history with dishing out yellow cards quite sort of willy-nilly, and there were a lot of bookings yesterday, and I was surprised there wasn't another sending off, to be fair. But let's start with Jefferson Lerma then. What were your thoughts on having him in the side?
So he has to start for me all the time. Not surprised with the booking.
As always.
It's a difficult one because I think the game changes. As soon as I go down to 10, it's not a Jefferson Lerma game because we're going to have more of the ball.
Yeah.
He's good at breaking the play up and stuff like that, and we're going to have more of the ball. And he wasn't, again, similar to the others, wasn't quite quick enough, probably dallied on it a little bit too much. It was just kind of sideways. Similar to his partner Billing next to him. But he didn't do a lot wrong. He won the ball back a few times. I'll give him a 5, but nothing spectacular. Was
Philip Billing the player yesterday that Huddersfield fans warned us about?
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking last night. That is when he's been a good signing for us on the whole, but when the going gets tough, he hides, he's pedestrian, he doesn't want to get involved. And how he stayed on the pitch till 82 minutes, I thought he was horrendous yesterday. I thought he was really bad. And I like him. I think he's a good player. And I kind of understood him and Lerma starting. I probably wouldn't have myself, but I kind of understood it away from home. As soon as they go down to 10 or at half time at least, you can't have them both on the pitch when Lewis Cook sat on the bench. I'd give Billing a 3. I thought he was terrible.
3 for Billing. Okay, so Danjuma on the left-hand side. He got involved in a few early sort of attacks where they didn't culminate in anything, but didn't seem to have that sort of freedom that he seems to like, and like Fraser when he came on, very little joy.
Yeah, I like the look of Danjuma. Early signs. I think there's a player in there. It's going to take a while to kind of him to get up to speed and see what he's really about. He's certainly a threat.
Yeah.
Without him being brilliant, I was surprised he come off because. At least he was a threat. I felt like something could happen if we get the ball out there to him. He was running at the defenders a little bit, and I'd give him a 6. I thought he was, because he was one of our better players. But I felt it was a little bit harsh to take him off on about an hour because I felt he has got that pace. He can, I thought he played well against Tottenham as well. So there's a player there. He's performing better than Fraser at the moment for sure.
Dominic Solanke then. I can see you're kind of nervous about giving this one. I've tried to defend him. I thought early on he held up the ball quite well, but obviously that's not his main job. I think he had a chance for the second half, which I think you've got to be more selfish, and he was trying to pull it back. He managed to beat his marker and then try to square Callum, and they got a touch on it back to the keeper. I'm just thinking, have a shot, mate, but. I don't know, it's just not happening for him at all at the moment, is it?
The lad looks like a player that's been kind of hyped at a young age. England under 21, stuff like that. Been at Chelsea, been at Liverpool, and now he's on a run. He's got a big transfer fee, run of no goals, and he looks so lacking in confidence. It's unreal. And like you say, he does hold the ball up well sometimes, but he holds the ball up and then loses it. He doesn't. I get really frustrated with him. As much as it's not all his fault, I just don't see what he's bringing. Like I say, the only thing he does well is he holds the ball up, but then he turns into trouble. I don't really see what he's offering us, apart from being a late impact sub if you need a goal. But I'll give him a 3.
3 for Solanke. And his strike partner, Callum Wilson. Not much to talk about yesterday, apart from a chance at the far post. Other than that, not overly sure what's your verdict on Callum yesterday.
Don't know what's happened to him.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happened to him.
He's just
at all.
gone missing.
Yeah, it's bizarre. There's loads. You could make loads of different factors. The fact that he's lost his strike partner in King. There's probably nowhere near enough service that he's used to from previous Bournemouth sides. But he's not doing it himself. He must know that. And with every game without a goal, I think he's just getting worse and worse. Yeah. At the moment, I mean, people say about him being dropped. We haven't got the options to drop him. No, I understand what people are saying, but kind of dropping him and just playing Solanke, what's that going to do?
Yeah, true.
It's not going to do anything. You might as well just play Callum on his own, especially with King out as well. But yeah, he's not looking himself. He doesn't look sharp. And yeah, you said he had that one chance yesterday, which I felt we could have done a little better. Yeah. But in the last few games, he's not really having loads of opportunities.
No, he's not. Yeah.
But he's got to get a free, same as Solanke.
Yeah. So Fraser came on for Danjuma after about 64 minutes. So he had a decent amount of time, about half hour or so. Any thoughts on Wee Man at all?
Don't do nothing. He hasn't done nothing since the start of the season. I think he put one free kick in that went in against Everton, didn't he? But apart from that, he hadn't done nothing all season. It was a worry for me at the start of the season that if he wasn't going to sign his contract, we're never going to see the Fraser we saw last season. It was it was just one of them seasons for him. But yeah, he didn't do anything. Give him a 4 because he only just come on.
Do you think uncertainties plays any part in why we're so poor at the moment? Do you reckon there may be dressing room unrest? I mean, there's always rumours about Eddie Howe. I just wonder if these kind of things play into the minds of players at all, or is it just the fact that Eddie Howe's being tactically outwitted against every team we seem to play at the moment?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, to be honest. Like I say, tactically, I don't think we're getting it right at the moment. You can kind of, what he's going to do. You think he's going to go 4-4-2, and we're going to get beat. And you kind of think, well, why didn't he try putting an extra man in midfield? So that's frustrating. And I also just think the players are just not performing. There's too many of them not on it. We say about Callum Wilson's not performing. Last season it was him or Fraser. Well, Fraser's not performing. And, we haven't... Lewis Cook, we know with the injuries and stuff, obviously hasn't come back the player that we know he is. I don't think the fullbacks are bombing on as much as they used to. And there's loads of factors that... are making this happen, and I don't think it's any one reason. It's just a combination of too many things happening at once. Injuries are another thing. Not an excuse, but when you get all of them tied in together, it's not a good formula.
So club legend and club captain, not so much a legend at the moment when he comes on, but Simon Francis was introduced at the same time as Fraser, replacing Rico. Okay.
Oh, superb, Fano. He was brilliant. Really strange. I think I said I kind of understood moving Smithy to the left to see if him and Fraser could get any joy there, but then I would have just brought Stacey on the right. But on the whole, we were coping with Zaha's threat on the break, so it was a little bit odd to change that. We know he's their biggest threat. Don't bring on Francis to try and cope with Zaha. I mean, it's absolute madness, especially after the last game. Such a shame, and I don't think Eddie's doing Frano any favours because Frano is a club legend, and we're just tarnishing that with every game he plays.
I agree.
He's not up to it anymore, and it's a real shit. I think the most we can have out of Frano is 5 minutes to go when we're under the cosh, bring him on as an extra centre half to try and win some headers. He's not going to come on and be offensively change a game. It's madness to think he would. I'd just give him a 3 or something. But
3.
I do feel for him because it's not his fault. He's aging. He's lost his legs. I think that first tackle against Wolves, it was such a obvious thing where I think his mind's telling him he can make it, but his legs have they're not there anymore. It was a strange substitution from Eddie.
Lewis Cook came on 82 minutes. Was that too late? Was that way too late? I mean, I think he should have been introduced a hell of a lot easier. It was clear that your billing was not the same. And like I said to someone on a previous podcast, like as soon as he gets booked, he's half the player, and he wasn't even half the player when he started. So we had a little sort of 25% of the player, and then Lewis Cook came on after 82 minutes and didn't have an awful lot of time to do much. But what did you think of him when he did come on?
Yeah, he was okay. Like you say, it was far too late. I probably thought at half time because they were down to 10 men. When he didn't do it at half time, I thought, I'd give it a 60. I mean, to wait till 82 minutes when we already went a goal behind. I was really surprised me. Eddie playing 2 defensive midfield players against 10 men. When you've got Lewis Cook sat on the bench, you need someone to be able to open it up. You need someone who's going to move the ball quicker. It really, really surprised me that he left Lewis Cook on till it was too late, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Lewis couldn't. They had already got the goal lead then. It was even harder, but you know, he couldn't do it a lot. Just give him a 4 or 5 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And finally, the decision making of Eddie Howe. He's taken responsibility on the post-match interview on Amazon. He looked almost like he was crying or something. He said it's the lowest he's ever felt. Is this the lowest you'll ever score him out of 10?
I'd like to think so. I don't want to be scoring him. I don't want to score him at all, to be honest. It's Eddie. But yeah, he's got to take. I mean, don't get me wrong. When them players step over the line, they were not good enough. It was as simple as that. Whatever tactics you put up, they were not good enough. But his decision making on the day was not good enough either.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've just gone into, the substitutes were odd. The way he needed to change it earlier. He didn't do enough at half time. Clearly, so he has got to take responsibility, and fair play to him for taking. I mean, he was really taking it off the players one day, which is the right thing to do. You see a lot of managers do that. You know, and I think, don't get me wrong, Eddie is definitely the man to sort it out. We've gone on runs, actually listened to TalkSport last night, and they were saying this is what Bournemouth do. They go on amazing runs, and then they go on awful runs. We know as Bournemouth fans that this is the first time it doesn't feel like a Bournemouth team.
Yeah,
you know, we were saying before, it's not like we're just getting beat 4-3 because we're too attacking. We seem to have lost that identity, which is why it's a bit more worrying this time. But he's still the man to get it right. Yesterday, I don't even want to score him. Who do I give the lowest player was 3, so I'll just give him a 3.
3. Okay, no problem at all. Well, yeah, it's the Bournemouth have lost 4 consecutive Premier League games, and that's the first time it's happened since December 2018. So it's happened before. It just doesn't feel as though there's much light at the end of the tunnel, given the nature of our performances. There were little high points in the Spurs match, not so much yesterday. What will we do against Liverpool? Who knows? The preview will be coming out later in the week. And what are your scores as well? Whack them in the comments. We'd love to know what you think. And just hope you have a good rest of the week and try to somehow enjoy it. And we'll see you on the next video with hopefully a little bit more optimism. Who knows? See you later on.